Crimson Tide. Tuscaloosa, Alabama, saving. Alabama about to kick off to get this game underway. He'll start the return inside his 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. So California's offense takes the field for the first time today. And what a performance this guy turned in last week. Spectacular in every aspect of the game, Jesse.
Well, I know one thing for sure. The quarterback is going to be looking his way early in this one. When you have a game like he did last time, your quarterback, you all of a sudden move up in priority in the pecking order for the guy throwing the football. So it's not going to surprise me early here. The quarterback looks his way, regardless of what the coverage is, based on what he showed last time out.
Yeah, and they were on the same page. It was fun to watch. I mean, you could tell that he knew exactly where his guy was, putting up the multiple touchdowns. Like, it was a thing of beauty. Now, defensively, I also know that. And I know he's looking that way. So look forward to seeing the chess match with the defense and maybe ways they can take him away.
He leaves it with his back.
Defense came into this one knowing they were going to see some tempo. They've got to get the call from the sidelines, get it communicated, get lined up.
Just feeds the running back. And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield. You can barely hear yourself thinking here as they're trying to get this defense off to a good start. Slips a tackle. But he can't get away again, and down he goes, and the trickeration is not so tricky.
Pretty nice as a defense, right? When you can go nickel, put 5 DBs on the field and not have to blitz anyone, trusting your front 4 to get the job done on 3rd down, and they do it right there getting the sack.
The Golden Bears decide to punt it away. This will be their first punt of the afternoon. Gets it up to the 34-yard line before he stopped, and that's where the offense will set up shop. So Alabama's offense will try to get something started with their first possession. Back to throw, it's Fry. And this will be incomplete. A big hit there forces 2nd down. Couldn't make the connection last time. Let's see if they throw it again. Back to pass on 2nd down. And it'll be incomplete. This is some physical pass defense. The Crimson Tide looking for a big play to convert on 3rd down. From the gun, wants to pass. Quickly complete. He's going to come up about 5 yards short of the line to gain. The punt team makes its way onto the field. Fair catch is made inside his own 20 at the 17-yard line. Cal gets it back. The sturdy Golden Bear offense on its way to the field. Can't find his man as he took a shot trying to deliver that football, and it'll be 2nd down. They'll give it to the back. Out across the 20 to the 21-yard line, a 3-yard gain. And the Golden Bears headed quickly to the line. On 3rd and long, he has to throw for it. And that's incomplete. A defender all over him. Knocked the ball to the ground. 4th down coming up. The Golden Bears will try to pin them back with the punt. This will be the 2nd time they've had to kick it away. This is a spot you see many returners try to take a chance, but not this time. The fair catch just inside the 40. Looking to throw on 1st down. Makes the grab.
Hey, man, if you're going to make plays like that on slant throws, you got to be able to make catches in traffic. Good, strong hands by the wideout there on the slant.
Nice move there. Found enough room to get it into enemy territory. They're down at the 43-yard line. He'll pull it on the read. And I think they'll give him 2 on that on 2nd and 8 coming up. Went to the running game on 1st down. Now here they come again. Looking for a man. It's Fry. Bringing the heat. They get to him as he throws. Perhaps a touchdown-saving tackle at the 17. Alabama rolling quickly downfield, set up with another 1st down. The give on the option. He rolls all the way down to the 5-yard line before they finally get him stopped. Alabama comes to the line with a 1st and goal. They'll try to get it in with the run. And he got nothing, and the line of scrimmage is still the 5-yard line. Lost to fire on 2nd down. Trying to bull his way in. That completion has them right on the doorstep. They'll mark it at the 1. They keep nudging it closer, but now it's 3rd and goal, fighting for the end zone, and he dropped it. Once that ball was loose, offense didn't have a chance. Defenders everywhere. It's a turnover.
Man, what a great job by the defense. You know, on short yardage situations like this, they can run the QB sneak. You're diving, getting as many bodies around the quarterback as you can, and it's just gravy when you can force a fumble and recover in that type of situation.
The Cal offense is headed back onto the field. They've sputtered a bit early, not being able to move the football, having to punt it away each of the first 2 times they had it. Hard running there. Creates a little space. They get him stopped at the 26, but that'll be enough for this offense to go to work on 1st down. Motion from the wide receiver. The give to the back. Finds some fresh air. Surges across the 30, out to the 32, a 6-yard run. And the Golden Bears are in the hurry-up.
And the offense has a little bit of success, and what do? They push that turbo button right back on the line, ready to run another play.
Under fire. And the defense got him at the 27.
Really nice play. When you talk about Alabama and their dominance on defense, especially in recent years, it all starts off. You have to have disruptors playing on the defensive line, guys that can be versatile and line up at different positions, but create havoc in the backfield, and that's what this guy has been able to do throughout his career.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On 3rd down, he drops the throw. Trying to make magic with his feet. Great job by this savvy senior to know when he just needs to move the sticks with his feet.
You have got to have pass rushing lane integrity when you face this quarterback. On 3rd down, someone gets out of his gap right up the middle. It's easy for the quarterback to see. He just tucks it and takes off and picks up the 1st down.
Wants to throw on 1st down off the play fake. Just too much heat that time, and they knock him down at the 31.
The defense just simply not fooled by the play action. Oftentimes in offense, you're hoping the run fake's going to slow down those pass rushers, but man, oh man, they had their ears pinned back.
The Golden Bears with a long way to go after the loss on the last play. 2nd down, they'll go to the air. Caught in the backfield, it's Dobbs. And tackled there by the defense. The Tide crowd rolling noise down onto Saban Field on 3rd down. From the gun, wants to pass. Pocket breaking down. All kinds of room to throw that one in there. Nice job to pick up the 1st down, and they'll spot it at the 42. And the Golden Bears come to the line with a fresh set of downs. on the run. It's Dobbs. He's going to lose a yard on that one. They've got a solid drive working, but now looking at 2nd and 11. Give to the running back. Not a whole lot of progress made there on the short run. Better find the earplugs. Here comes the noise, backing this defense on 3rd down. Here's a hit. Strong pass rush gets to the quarterback, and they get him at the 46.
You know, when you go dime personnel package, you got extra DBs in the game, so it's harder to throw if you're the quarterback. There's just not as many windows. They've got more guys in coverage. You're expecting to at least have a little bit more time, but your offensive line, man, they just couldn't hold up.
The Golden Bears will punt it away on 4th down. Boy, they had a chance to track that thing down, but it bounces into the end zone for a touchback. They'll snap it from the 20 for the opening play of this drive. They'll leave it with him. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. Here comes the offense on 2nd down. Oh, they're after him. Incomplete behind the receiver. Maybe this freshman got a little too anxious. Just enough time for one more snap before the end of the quarter. Looking downfield, it's Fry. Throws to the wideout. It's picked off. The Heisman contender turns it over. He's knocked down, but what a play to come up with the interception. We're through one period, and these receivers are showing out big time. Take a look at the stats. Both sides trying to find a little rhythm and efficiency and move the ball some here as we start the 2nd quarter. They've got a 1st down here to open the period. Gonna run it. It's Dobbs. Finds just enough room to pick up a couple down to the 26. And the Golden Bears will hustle to the line.
And that wasn't a big gain, but look at the offense. Right back on the ball, ready to call a play, ready to go fast.
Here's the pressure. Under pressure, and down he goes at the 33.
Boy, this defense is ridiculous. On point. They know how to rush the passers. Multiple guys getting it done. 5 sacks, and we are still in the 1st half.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On 3rd and long, you'll need to push it downfield. And this defense is bringing the heat. Another sack.
Man, I think this quarterback needs to take his offensive line out for dinners more often because they're not protecting him. And sometimes it doesn't even look like they're trying. That now the 6th sack of the game for this defense.
Splits the uprights from 56, and he's got 3 on the board. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Hey, fellas, here's a quick update on a top 25 clash today. LSU is currently trailing in this one, but it feels like the momentum may be turning. These Bayou Bengals have picked themselves up off the canvas before, and they're capable of it again today. It's a touchdown game. They're trailing by 7 to USC. We'll circle back if anything big happens in this college football matchup.
Now, there he goes. He'll be stopped and forced out of bounds right around the 34-yard line, and now they've got a little something brewing. From the gun, they'll try to impose their running game. At the 45, on his way. Plenty of room on that play, and they find their way to the 36.
When you talk about creating big plays in the running game like this makes the game really easy. Actually, when you've got a guy like this that you can hand it to with this much speed and elusiveness, just hard to bring down in the open field, what a big gain for the offense.
To the ground. He's got it again. Out of the crowd, and now he's got room. Brought down at the 21-yard line. A 15-yard pickup, and they are in prime position to get points now. Caught in the backfield, it's Meadows. That one takes it down to the 13-yard line. Second down coming up on this red zone opportunity. From the gun, they'll try to impose their will. And he never had a chance, just stopped cold as soon as he got it. Lining up to convert third down. Tight end in motion, see how the D reacts. They'll run it from the gun. He's all the way down to the 3. Showed it all on that run. On first and goal, let's see if Alabama can get it in the end zone. They'll try to get it in with the run. Touchdown time! Great job by the back on the option.
This running back was not going to be denied. Nice blocking up front to create a hole for this running back, and he was able to take advantage.
Getting set for the point after. And the extra point makes it 7-3. They march 78 yards down the field. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. On the move from inside his 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. Cal gets it back. The sturdy Golden Bear offense on its way to the field. Out of the gun, the inside handoff, looking for a crease. Found a little bit of running room, knocked down at the 24 after a pickup of 4. The Golden Bears want to crank their tempo. Wide receiver going in motion. To the air on second down.
And I kind of like how the running back didn't mess around. Like, just get downhill when you see an opening. A lot of times they close so fast, man. Be decisive, stick your foot in the ground, pick up 3 to 4, and we are not going to complain.
Unloads to the wideout. Intercepted! Oh, what a play! Picked up a few extra on that return, but what a play by this defense to get the football. Here comes that Alabama offense. You want to talk about a drive where you impose your will? That's what they did, running it down for a touchdown. A shot toward the end zone. Touchdown, Crimson Tide. They won it all, and that is exactly what they got.
That is exactly what most offenses will do. Big momentum play. My defense creates a turnover. I'm being aggressive. I'm going for the big score, the big play down the field. They get rewarded. They get the big passing touchdown.
Ready to try the point after. And the extra point makes it 14-3. That's the kind of drive everybody loves. So seeing quarterback, one snap, put it in the end zone. He'll bring it back from inside his 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. The Cal offense is headed back onto the field. There's a little more urgency attached to this drive. They've only been able to put up a field goal and start this one down 14-3. They got nothing on the last play. It's 2nd and 10. Wants to go up top. Pucks it out of the air. They stop him almost immediately. Short gain there. Still a little ground to cover to pick up the first. They'll go to the air on 3rd and short. Got his man. Hauled down, but they'll move the sticks as he picks up the first down. And the Golden Bears come to the line with a new set of downs. Wants to throw on first down. Rushes on him. Slings it downfield. It's incomplete and maybe a little too aggressive from this senior trying to fit that one in there. The give on the inside. He's knocked down a couple of yards behind the line of scrimmage. A veritable crimson tide of noise on Saban Field here on third down. Tight coverage and an incomplete pass. The defense knocks it away and forces the fourth down. The Golden Bears will send out the punt unit. Here's the return. And the coverage team able to wrestle him down. The Tide offense rolls onto the field. Last drive went for 6. We'll see if they can do it again. Grabbed in the backfield. It's Meadows. And they'll finally get him down after a terrific pickup. The offense will put it in play from the 47 on 1st and 10. Use the play fake. Now to throw. Fires to the middle. He's got an open man. Perhaps a touchdown-saving tackle at the 17.
Well, Reese, you and I were talking about this before the game. How is this defense going to be able to deal with all the speed they have offensively? You saw them just rip off a big play.
And, Jesse, now their head's spinning just a little bit. Give up a big chunk play, and it's right back at them. Looking to pass inside the red zone. Using the back as a receiver on the screen. He's there to make the stop, and they threw it in reverse, losing yardage on that play. Looking to throw, it's Fry. Right down the middle. How about that play to get a hand in there and force the incompletion? Alabama with a ton of ground to cover on this third down. Wants to keep it in the air. Grabbed in the middle, it's Harris. He cannot get there. It'll be 4th down. Here comes the field goal unit as they'll try to take the 3. The holder will kneel down at the 29, making it a 39-yard attempt. It is true as he puts 3 on the board. And now the lead is extended a little further. So after the made field goal, they'll kick it away and rely on their defense. Here he comes from inside his own 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. Cal gets it back. The sturdy Golden Bear offense on its way to the field. Now we'll get a chance to see if they can answer that last score, trailing by 14, Jesse.
Yeah, and at this point in the game, I feel like offensively, you should go back to what's been working for you in this game. Don't be afraid to dial up plays that you've already had success with, running it and throwing it. It's okay to repeat plays down 14 at this point.
And I would also say, Palmer, kind of understanding that my defense is not playing great, so I know offensively I got to put some good possessions together here, make something happen on this side of the football.
The running back has it. Slithers into space. And he's brought down at the 40-yard line, and that'll be a 1st down. And the Golden Bears racing to the line in a hurry-up. Quickly to the tight end. And he's brought down after a nice gain. Not the most productive half for this offense so far, but finally starting to get it in gear. 1st and 10. Use the play fake. Now to throw. He's got his man across the middle. Brought down at the 32-yard line. Picks up 15 yards on the play and an important 1st down. Can't find his man as he took a shot trying to deliver that football, and it'll be 2nd down. Back to pass. He makes the grab. Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender. Decibels rising as the crowd gets behind this defense on 3rd down. Pressure coming. No more time to throw. Quarterback is sacked at the 35. So now on comes the field goal unit. This whole play is going to see if this kicker can operate in a sea of noise. And this one splits the uprights. Now the lead is down to 11. And for a quick update, let's go to Kevin Connors in the studio.
All right, guys, a little update on what else is happening in college football this weekend. Nebraska is up big right now in what's shaping up to be a blowout they'll be talking about in Lincoln for some time. They're up 14 over Mississippi State. Just another week of college football where we've come to expect the unexpected. Fellas?
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. Got his man downfield. Nothing but green grass down the middle. And he just kept running it and ran away from the crowd, and he'll take it in. Touchdown, Alabama! No step back in week 3. They have been sharp as they extend the lead. That touchdown grabbed the 25th of his career.
Not surprising either. When you've got this guy's ability at that position, quarterbacks are going to be looking for you. 25 touchdown catches, that's an impressive figure.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those guys that have been so big time. Big time moments, clutch plays, makes those contested catches. He's a guy that can do everything, and that's why he's putting up such great stats.
And with the extra point, they're on top by 18. Kickoff unit back to work, and they have been busy as they've built this sizable lead. Here's the return from inside his 10. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. Plenty of time left in the half here as they take over, but they will want to be efficient here in the final 2 minutes. Here comes the heat. And he got smacked just as he released the pass. It's incomplete. Behind the chains now on 2nd and long. Couldn't connect on first down, now back to the air. Fires to the big fella. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that first down marker. From the gun on 3rd down. He's going to throw deep right side. And they wanted it all on 3rd down, but now dealing with 4th down. The Golden Bears line up to punt it away. He's got it. Returns like that are why you don't settle for the fair catch if you don't have to. Picks up just a little bit of yards to help out the O. Dropping back, it's Fry. Knew where he wanted to go with it, but couldn't find his target. It's incomplete.
I don't know about the decision that time by the quarterback. He may have been expecting man coverage, but that time the defense was in zone, and they did a really nice job closing the window. The intended target was not open. That's why that one fell incomplete.
Well, will they dial up on 2nd and a long way to go? This one's complete. Oh, what a big play for this offense as they get it to the 33-yard line.
Well, this offense told us coming in they were going to challenge this secondary early and often. They were going to use their speed to their advantage and take advantage of this quarterback's touch and arm talent. And they already in the 2nd quarter, they've got over 200 yards thrown.
And this set of downs gets started from the 33, 1st and 10. To the air on 1st down. Makes the grab. Didn't pick up a lot there, moving forward just a few. The offense uses a timeout to stop the clock, and they'll get a quick breather. Back to throw, time running short in the half. Caught near the sticks, it's Harris. And he's knocked down immediately, but not before he moves the chains. Wants to go up top on 1st down. He makes the catch. Tight windows, no problem to grab the tackle, and it's 1st down in the red zone at the 10. This offense has been a juggernaut, and they have a chance to pad their total just before halftime. Under fire. And he avoids the hit and slides after the short gain. The offense calls timeout, and they won't have any more left this half. Can the D deny them on 2nd and goal? To the air, it's Fry. Bringing the heat. Had to throw it before he wanted. He just threw that one away. Nobody was getting open. He had to live to find another play in the red zone. It'll be third down. From the gun, wants to pass. Wide out trying to get it in. And the defense doesn't let him get loose, and that's going to wrap things up here in the half. And they're going to head out the lineup for a field goal. That's going to wrap up the first half here, and now we join Kevin with the halftime update.
Fellas, you've been calling a great one today from there in Tuscaloosa. And how do we possibly begin without singing the praises of this receiver? His ability to find gaps, run textbook routes, and then show that breakaway speed. He simply is the total package. How this secondary responds, whether they try to double team him or get aggressive at the line, that'll be the story of this second half. And with that, let's send it back to the guys in T-Town.
And the Golden Bears will line up to kick off and start the second half. On the run from inside his own 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. Guys, here comes that Alabama offense onto the field. Keeping it on the ground to open the second half. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. Right back to him on the ground. Got the first down and more. Makes the tackle at the 30 after he picked up 10. It'll be first and 10 from the 30. Caught behind the line. It's Harris. Not much working there. It'll be second and 9. Let's send the tight end in motion. He'll keep it himself. Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender. Let's see what they do on third down. To the air, it's Fry. He hurls one deep down the left side. Got it in stride inside the 20. Just making a huge play, and he sets him up all the way down at the 14. We asked earlier this week, who's your favorite receiver? And, of course, he said the open one. But we know who he really wants to go to on third down.
The best one. I mean, I think the open one, obviously the politically correct answer. But you want to find the guy that you got that great chemistry with. You know exactly where he's going to be. You got that bond and that trust.
They say it's still a game of field possession, and that last one just flipped this baby. They've got it first and 10 in the red zone. Rides the back on the option, the give. He's tackled right at the 10-yard line, and they're trying to cash in on this drive. Going to work in the red zone. They can't pick up the first down without getting it into the end zone. He'll do it himself. They get him stopped, but those feet kept moving until he was down to the 5. Tight quarters deep in the red zone, but they can't pick up a first down without scoring. Third down. He didn't get it. Not only that, he lost yardage. They'll send out the kicker here. Good right down the boulevard. And that lead grows even bigger. They keep pushing that lead out, and the kickoff team's getting some work. And he takes this from inside the 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. The Cal offense is headed back onto the field. They're looking at a 21-point hole. There's still time to do some work, but there's also no time to waste. The Golden Bears want to move quickly.
This offense is perfectly fine with a little game because they're going to make you tackle this all game long. They're going to make you think all game long. So they'll keep running it ad nauseum and just wait for that one opportunity when you don't do your assignment.
And after that long completion for the first down, did you see everybody sprinting to the line of scrimmage offensively? They want to go tempo right now.
And the Golden Bears have put themselves in dire straits after that last play at 2nd and a mile. Leaves it with the running back. Good pickup on the ground, and they'll mark him down at the 39. 3rd down, and this offense is already in a world of trouble. They could really use a conversion, not to mention multiple scores. Quarterback on the keeper. They tried to go smash mouth on 3rd and short, and it did not work against this defense. The Golden Bears will punt this one away. They're up to a half-dozen kicks today. Catches it at the 15. Pretty solid coverage there, and they'll stop him at the 26. Here comes that Alabama offense. They had to settle for the chip shot field goal last time, Jesse. They'd love for this one to pay off bigger.
Yeah, it just comes down to execution, too. Did a nice job out in the field, stalled a little bit once they got down to the goal line, so they just need to be a little bit more crisp here, Dave.
Yeah, and listen, I think the first part was the most important part. You've got to put the drive together first to get down there. Now, when we get down there, focus on execution and getting 6 points.
To throw, it's Fry. Fires to the wideout. A strike downfield. He found plenty of room, and he gets it to the 39-yard line.
Man, we knew coming into this game just how explosive this offense could be, and a big part of that is their ability to throw the football. They've scored a ton of points, and it's because they can generate plays like that. When this quarterback sees the one-on-one matchup he wants, he is not afraid to pull the trigger, and he hits a big throw there.
Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on 2nd down. Looking to fire. He lets one fly deep. Touchdown, Bama! And they take it in for 6 more points. That's his 3rd touchdown pass of the day. The defense has no clue how to respond right now.
No, and the defense has had absolutely no answer. He's been on the money. He's been on fire, making the right decisions and just carving this defense up.
Lining up to add another. And the extra point will tack another one onto this lead.
Fellas, a battle in the Beaver State today. A lot of green, a lot of orange in the stands. Whenever Oregon and Oregon State have at it, and here's the latest. Oregon delivered maybe its most thorough thumping in years in a game that featured a ton of big plays, not unlike the way LaMichael James, Kenyon Barner, and Jonathan Stewart used to do it. Regardless the outcome today, guys, these are still 2 quality programs. Proof the sport is as healthy as ever.
And Kevin Connors keeping an eye on everything all over the country. Sounds like they had a good one there. And the Golden Bears now with a long way to go to pick up the 1st down. Quick completion to the right. And this one will be stopped for no gain. This defense has kept them backed up. Now 1 more stop, and they can get off the field on 3rd and long. Looking to throw, and he needs a bunch. And the 3rd down pass is incomplete. The Golden Bears will call on their punt team. So from his own end zone, the punt is away. He'll call for the fair catch here. So the first play of the drive, starting here from the 45. Out of the chute, quick toss to the right. He's brought down, but he went backwards after that completion, not the way they had it drawn up. To the air, it's Fry. Looking left. Intercepted. Big play stops the drive. Running through contact. Finally brought down, but what a play, not only to get the football, but to flip the field position with the return.
Not all DBs make the play at the end, right? They can bat the ball down, they can be in position, but they don't really secure the football. Great job by the DB securing the football and forcing the
Cal gets it back. The sturdy Golden Bear offense on its way to the field. After 3 consecutive punts, we'll see if they can dial up something that can get this offense moving forward. Finds his big tight end. And he's brought down after a nice game. This senior showed some serious arm strength firing that one in for the first down. Inside the 20. Off the play fake on first down to throw. Got it behind the line. It's Dobbs. Tackled almost immediately. They're well short of the first down.
Brings up second down.
And you want to talk about his favorite receiver, it might be everybody based on the number of guys getting touches and a chance to show off their hands in the passing game. So will the beatdown continue, or is this a comeback for the ages in store? We'll see as we start the fourth. So the final period starts with a second down play. Tight end now in motion. They'll go to the ground. He'll get that one all the way down to the 4-yard line before he's stopped. The Golden Bears line it up with a first and goal. He's looking to pass. And that defense gets to him, and down he goes at the 9.
I think defenses sometimes get frustrated and you want to get blitz happy and because you give up yards. In this day and age, you're going to give up yards. Who cares? This is the area you've got to bow up. Nice job on first down stop. A couple more downs here to stay aggressive.
Defense rose up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a second and long coming. The run up the middle, trying to steamroll his way in. He's snuffed out behind the line again. Went right back to the well and got the same bad result. They'll look to throw on third and goal. Big guy smells it. And they'll get him down inside the 5, but this offense powering toward a score. They'll move the wide receiver. Wants to go up top. Gets drilled as he releases it. The ball just trickles to the ground. The Crimson Tide pinned deep in their own end, trying to find a little breathing room. They'll run behind the big guys on the right. They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple. After getting knocked back to open this drive, it's 2nd and 12. Gives it on the option. Couldn't find any way to get out of the end zone, and they get him for a safety.
Oh, and how about this defense? Understanding where they are in the field. They got a chance to put points on the board, and they do.
And they'll set up for the free kick from their own 20. Running into the open space.
The returner brings it out to the 30.
The Cal offense is headed back onto the field. On that last drive, 4th and goal didn't exactly work out. They really need to pay it off this time, Jesse.
And they were so anxious and eager to get back on the field. They know they left points on the board. They let that one get away from them. They look like they are pumped up and ready to go here, David.
And listen, it was a good drive, so you got to remember that. But they got to realize, I got to get points. When I get in those areas, I got to capitalize. And they wanted a touchdown last time. This drive, they can go make it happen.
Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on 2nd down. Motion from the wideout. Gonna sling it on 2nd down. Under fire. And the quarterback runs out of time, and down he goes at the 38.
Quarterbacks don't have high completion percentages from their backs. It's been really hard for this QB to get any kind of rhythm. We got to change something up here. We got to do something different because right now it's just a sack point.
The defense all revved up after that earlier sack, and they'll try to stop him right here. On 3rd and long, you'll have to turn it loose deep. And he was looking over the middle and couldn't make the connection. Coach has no choice here. The offense has to stay on the field, down multiple possessions this late. 4th down attempt. He tosses one high and deep down the left side. And it's knocked away. They'll give up the ball, failing to convert on 4th. Great place to start for this offense. Grabbed behind the line. It's Harris. He is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose yards on that one.
Second down coming up.
From the gun, they'll try the middle. How about this sophomore stopping him short of the 1st down line? Alabama with a lot of ground to cover here on 3rd and long. He'll pull it on the read. They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple. They bring the punter onto the field now. 2nd time today they've been forced to punt. He came so close to pinning the deep, maybe just a little too greedy. Tried to get it too close, and it'll come out to the 20. Out of the shotgun, they go to the ground. Stopped at the 25 after a 5-yard gain. Halfway there on 1st down, it's 2nd and 5. To the ground with the back. He moves the chains, and they'll mark the ball at the 33. With the 1st down, they'll put it in play from the 33. Wide receiver comes in motion. Touch pass on the jet sweep. Crosses the 45. They'll get him down, but not before he crosses the 50. He's down to the 49. And the Golden Bears have it with a 1st and 10. Looking to throw on 1st down. It's picked off, and they ruin the drive with a turnover. Trying to take it back. Inside the 30. Touchdown time. The defense putting points on the board. They push the lead out here in the 4th quarter and close to getting back on track and going 2-1.
Dude, you didn't think it could get any worse, right? You thought this game's over as it is anyways. Offense still throwing the football, still trying to make plays, and the defense just continues to pour it on, gets the pick, makes its way all the way to the end zone.
He'll try to tack on one more. And with the extra point, the lead is even bigger. And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
Right, guys, got a final score on one of the more intriguing games this week. Florida State took care of business and left little doubt in doing so. Kind of felt like how that 2013 Seminoles team led by Jameis Winston, Devontae Freeman, and Kelvin Benjamin would just steamroll teams. All that speculation all week, and now we know. Something tells me, fellas, we haven't heard the last of either of these teams.
Kevin, thanks a lot for that one. Sounds as if they had a good one there. The Golden Bears trying to find their way forward after the big loss on the last play. 2nd down, they'll go to the air. Might be looking to run. They bring him down, but a solid pickup to put them in position to pick up a 1st down. Clock stops, and we reach the 2-minute timeout. His offense looking for anything to cut into this big lead. The give from the gun. They make the stop at the 26, and let's see if they bring out the punt team. And the Golden Bears send out the punt unit. He'll try to really get into this one. They'll put a stop to that return as he gets it up to the 41-yard line. First snap of this drive comes from their own 41. He'll keep it himself. You'll take 4 yards on 1st down every time, 2nd and 6. Handoff from the gun. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage. The Crimson Tide looking for a big play to convert on third down. The give to the tailback. And they'll stop him about 5 yards short of the first. When you know you have a team outclassed, the ability to play to that standard and finish with a blowout like this is really impressive.
And it's almost like playing against yourself, right? You know you're better. You know you're going to win the football game, but how do I continue to still execute? This was so easy. Great execution. Just beat down in every facet.
I think as a player, you just love being in such great rhythm, and we saw that right from the get-go in this game. Offense just able to matriculate the ball downfield. Defense was not giving anything up. What a great game plan coming in, and this was just total domination.
Thanks so much for spending some time with us. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and this has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.